سلام، من رضا هستم و همونطور که میدونید در کانال یوتیوب من در مورد هر چیزی که به دوچرخه سواری کوهستان مرتبط میشه صحبت میکنم. بریم ببینیم امروز با جوس لوب چه میکنیم. شرکت جوس لوب juicelubes.com این وبسایتی که باز میکنید در واقع سکشن های مختلف محصولاتش اینجا اومده توضیح داده، یعنی اومده اینو کاتگوری کرده، دسته بندی کرده. یه بخش داشته برای واش، لوب میشه این چیزایی که در واقع کار روانکاری رو انجام میده، پولیش برای شستن و برق انداختن، مینتین برای نگهداری و سرویس، انواع گریس رو داره توضیح میده. بخش تیوبلس چیزایی که مربوط به تیوبلس مثل نوار توقه یا مایع تیوبلس. بعد یه سری هم چیزای تبلیغاتی داره اینجا. هر کدوم که خواستین میتونین این بالا هم روی صفحه ها برین کلیک بکنید. مثلا من روی لوب اگه کلیک بکنم صفحه باز میشه که اطلاعات مربوط به انواع روغن های مختلفی که تولید میکنه رو اینجا نمایش میده. یا مثلا روی مینتین اگه برم، جایی که برای سرویس نگهداری استفاده میشه. فرضاً اسپری دیسک رو داریم، اسپری دو شاخ رو داره. اینا رو راب خودش توضیح میده به شما. بریم تا طرف الان آنلاین میشه، یه گپی باهاش بزنیم، خودشو معرفی بکنه و بعد ببینیم که چه چیزایی در مورد محصولات جدیدش به ما میگه. منتظرم تا راب بیاد رو خط. Hi Rob, how are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm good, thanks.
I want to ask you to introduce yourself and your company. Where is your base and what exactly you are producing?
Okay. So, hi, I'm Rob from Juice Lubes. We're based in the southwest of the UK. And we produce a pretty extensive range of high quality lubricants, fluids and cleaners, everything you need to maintain and service a bike really. Yeah, that's sort of what we do. We've been doing it for 10 plus years now and we're still expanding the range now. No, yeah, we literally deal specifically in bicycle products. We're not looking to expand into moto or car or anything like that. I think it's quite important to stay focused on a certain area of the market, and specialize in something rather than cover too many things.
So if you have any words for my clients as your distributor in this country, please go for that. And then I'm starting my questions regarding the products.
Just speaking with Reza today, he distributes our products out in Turkey and Iran. Just catching up and talking through a few product-based things with him really.
So let me to ask you something. What product is the most popular product in Juice Lube for your market or maybe global market?
There's 3 top products that we see. It varies from one market to the next as to which is the most popular, but the all conditions chain lube overall is the most popular chain lube by far. I think it's a really nice balance. It sets up like a dry lube, so it runs nice and clean, but it's got the added protection of a wet lube. But a lot of all conditions lubes stay quite wet and attracts a lot of grit and grime, whereas this one I think is a really good balance. So even in dry conditions it doesn't attract too much dirt build-up or contaminants, so that's very popular. The other one that's very popular is the fork lubricant. That's the product that we started the business with, and we spotted a gap in the market for. Back then, forks obviously weren't as good as they are now, and there's a lot of stiction, and they didn't operate as smoothly as say the more modern forks. So we created that as like an anti-stiction spray to help with performance and keep things running sweet between services. And the same thing applies now. It helps to drag grime out of the seals before it works its way into the fork, and reduces friction and just keeps things running smoother. Again, can use it on dropper posts. That's wasn't what our original intention was for it, but if you've got a sticky dropper post, then that product is almost an instant fix if you haven't got time to service it, so good use there. And brake cleaner is the other one we sell a lot of. That's a very popular product. A lot of workshops using it, and just general home mechanics and tinkerers, weekend warriors that want to keep their brakes sweet. So those are probably our 3 most popular products.
Some of my clients are asking me, is that necessary to use this fork loop and the fork extension or the dropper post every time?
So the fork juice spray, you don't need to use it every time you ride, but if you clean the bike you can always spray some on and just cycle the forks and the shocks. And if there's dust or dirt located in the seals, if you just mist the bit onto your stanchions and cycle the suspension, you'll normally get a little ring of dirt and grime that's been pulled out, and then you can just wipe that away. You can do it before you ride, or at the end of a ride as a sort of post-ride sort of clean down, just to put a bit on there and cycle the fork again or the shock and wipe anything away. You certainly don't need to apply it every ride, but it's just something good to apply regularly to keep all those expensive moving parts like the drop post, the shock, and the fork.
Some of riders, when they spray this can to fork extension or the dropper post, they leave it as it is. But I think we have to press the fork or shocks or dropper post and then wipe it out to be clean when we are going to the trade. Is that right?
Yeah, so the best way is to apply it, cycle the fork or the shock or the dropper post, wipe any excess.
But sometimes I'm being asked to what's the difference between these two?
So the wax lube is going to be very popular in your sort of conditions where you are. It's a water-based wax emulsion, and that wax lube has a higher wax content than our normal dry lubricant. With that wax lubricant, you probably want to apply it well in advance of riding so that the water within the emulsion has the chance to evaporate away, which then leaves the wax dry in amongst the rollers where it needs to be. So yeah, we'd probably recommend applying it the night before you're going to ride the following day. The benefit of that wax lube is it's got a high wax content and it's pretty hard wearing. And with it setting up dry, then it's not going to attract too much dust and contaminants. Anything that does get attracted to the chain, you can almost just brush off with a stiff brush before reapplying, rather than having to do a full chain strip down and clean. So it's quite easy to maintain over a period of weeks. Only when it gets really built up would you then need to strip it back and start again. It's got a bit of wet weather protection, but it's best used in dry conditions. The All Conditions lube, although it's the most popular lube for us overall, sales-wise, it's probably not going to be quite as strong as the wax for your territory. If you were to have a bit of mixed weather, then yeah, that one would be the one. It's got good sort of wet weather resistance, but at the same time, it sets up quite similar to the wax. So again, we'd recommend that you apply it well in advance of riding, because it's got a solvent-based carrier which penetrates very well into the chain and carries the lubricant with it. But then that will evaporate away as well to leave a fairly dry finish to the chain, which again helps to prevent dust and dirt contaminants.
Tell me, what is the advantage of your product in compared to other brands? And also, what is the maximum diameter or maximum holes or cut on the tire?
Our tubeless sealant is probably better suited to the sort of climate and environment that you guys have. It's quite hot compared to many regions that we distribute in. The benefit of our sealant over some other brands is we use what's called a synthetic latex rather than a natural latex. So a brand like Stan's or Joe's No Flats, they use natural latex, which is kind of the original sort of formula for sealants several years ago. But products and technologies have moved on and synthetics now caught up. The benefit of synthetic latex over the natural latex is that it doesn't dry out as fast. So a natural latex sealant, you might need to top it up after 2 months. And quite typically those products are the ones that you might take the tyre off and it's coated in a thin layer of rubber on the inside, or it's dried out and there's sort of balls of sealant rolling around within the tyre. With a synthetic latex, it will last 6 to 9 months before you need a top up. It doesn't dry out the same, and you won't get those balls running around in the tyre also. It's much easier to wash the synthetic latex out from the tyre and rims, and it's non-corrosive, so it's kinder to your tyres and your rims and components in general. You won't get an allergic reaction from it either, unlike regular latex. In terms of performance, more recent years it's caught up a lot. So we say that our sealant can seal a hole up to 7 millimeters. Though when we say that, it's objective to the hole itself, because no two punches are identical. And sometimes you can have what looks like a very small puncture, but behind the face of the hole, it can be a very awkward shape or bigger than it looks, or sometimes something that looks very big from the outside is tapered and gets smaller on the inside. So
where and when should I use this spray?
So the JF69 maintenance spray, that one's sort of a good product for the workshop, or just if you've come back from a wet ride, which you guys probably don't get too much, but if you've washed your bike similarly, you probably want to dry it down afterwards, and you'd spray that on moving parts, so sort of cleats, pedals, derailleurs.
What about
anything
the
moving.
brake levers?
Yeah, brake levers, any pivots really, just to drive moisture out and keep things lubricated. Yeah, brake levers is a really good one. Yeah, clipless pedals. Or yeah, anywhere where there's water likely to be lurking.
خب این توضیحات آقای راب بود. در کل میتونم بگم یه سری از این محصولات اسنشیاله، یعنی شما به صورت لازم و ضروری باید تهیه بکنید، حالا چه از برند ما چه از هر برند دیگه‌ای، به هر صورت آن چیزی که لازم است و مهر از این که این محصولات به صورت دائمی تو باید تو دسترس ما باشه. روغن زنجیر ترجیحاً بر پایه آب و کریر آب، نه کریر الکلی روغن. اسپری دو شاخ که هم به استنکشن دو شاخ و شاکس وسط و هم به دراپر پست یا لولزین میتونید در واقع بزنید به استفاده. اسپری JL69 که بعد از شستشو و تمیز کردن فریم دوچرخه و قطعات دوچرخه میتونید ازش استفاده بکنید. خودش نازل پاشنده داره. اگر توضیحی لازم داشتید یا سوالی داشتید میتونید برای من کامنت بکنید. اگر این ویدیو رو دوست داشتید خوشحال میشم که لایک بکنید و برام کامنت بذارید. ممنونم و تا ویدیو بعدی خدا نگهدار.